So, right, the topic of my talk today is getting out of your comfort zone. I'll start off with a quote. Life begins at the end of your comfort zone. Now, a lot of people might think, what do you mean by life actually begins at the end of your comfort zone? Isn't life now? But be patient. So I hope that bear this in mind throughout my talk, so that I think at the end of my talk, you probably understand what I'm trying to say. Okay, as have been properly introduced just now, I am a lawyer. I've been a lawyer for 25 years. Now, I remembered it wasn't something, I didn't choose law. It wasn't something that I was very passionate about. But I had to do the filial son thing, and that's how it is, okay? So, and I was doing my O-levels and A-levels in the UK, and basically, I was told that, you have to do law, right? Because I was crap in science, okay? Can you say crap in TEDx? Sorry. So I had a choice between law and accounting. So between the choice of two, so I was looking at the fact that I can't be an accountant because accountants are a bunch of boring, nerdy old farts, okay? No disrespect to Dr. Carroll, who happens to be an accountant. So sorry. So basically, I did law, so I did what I had to do as a filial child. I graduated from the University of Hull in law, and subsequently did my professional bar exams in London. And then I came back, and basically my parents were happy because they got their return on investment on me. Okay, so make sure that their money is basically is well spent. Okay. So then I came out to practice. So I became a partner of Chiang Arif. Actually, I started out as an assistant in Chiang Arif. By the way, Chiang Arif is a very established legal firm in KL. It's a very established corporate legal firm. And I joined in 1997, but I was made partner before the turn of the millennium. So in a short space of 3 years, I became a partner. Now, the profile of the firm that, basically the type of work that I was doing in Chiang Arif was basically, I was doing a lot of high-end corporate deals, okay? I was dealing with a lot of MNCs, PLCs, GLCs. So I was very comfortable in doing what I was doing because I think I was rather good in what I was doing. So in a way, I've built a wall around myself, thinking that that is my comfort zone, okay? I mean, it's a place where I feel secure and protected. And of course, there's a sense of familiarity to it. But lo and behold, but bear in mind, I never liked law. I did law as a means to an end. And all this subsequently culminated into me going into a depression, actually. I had depression when I was 40. So when that happened, that was the lowest point in my life. There I was comfortable in my own shell, doing the things that, it's comfortable to me, but I wasn't happy. So I tried to dig myself out of that hole, and I didn't want to seek any medical help because I didn't believe in taking sedatives and going to see a psychiatrist and all that. So I subsequently got myself surrounded by people with positive views on life, and as well as surrounding myself, learning about the positive quotes that can affect my life. So among one of the quotes that I learned, that I got to know was this quote. It says, if you only do what you can, you will never be more than what you are now. Okay, this saying is made by a very, very wise man, okay? And all of you in this room will probably know who he is. Take a wild guess. Who do you think actually made this very inspirational quote that changed my life? No one? It's none other than Master Shifu from Kung Fu Panda, right? Believe it or not. I actually was very inspired by this quote. It basically means what it means. If you only do what you can do, you can never be more than what you can, you can never do more than what you can do. So with this in mind, I set off to try to get out of my comfort zone. And how does one get out of your comfort zone? Everyone has their own ways, but I'm going to showcase to you a couple of my examples of how I got out of my comfort zone. Firstly, I'm a lawyer, right? So basically, I know nothing about conservation, okay? But I got involved in conservation. I joined WWF. By the way, WWF does not stand for World Wrestling Federation, okay? It stands for World Wildlife Fund, okay? Which is basically an organization that champions the cause of nature conservation as well as the protection of wildlife species. So in tandem with that, I also became a spokesperson for the I'm Finished with Fins campaign, which basically is a campaign against anti-finning, because we do know how our Chinese love our shark's fins, right? So that particular culinary, I would put it, choice is actually not very helpful to the sharks because of the way of how they farm, how they catch the sharks and fin them, and before throwing them back in the ocean. Okay, so sharks are going extinct by the year because of this. And another thing which I did. Okay, all right. Before that, does anyone know who this is? It's a very old picture, probably taken in 1910. Okay, so everyone knows who Lok Yew is, right? Everyone knows Lok Yew as the name of a road, but not about the person. So you remember a couple of slides ago, I actually showed you my office in Chiang Arif. Okay, basically we were fortunate enough to be housed in his old house. This is a century-old mansion, which me and my partners actually managed to save it from point of obscurity and possibly even demolition, because it was an abandoned building. So because this thing was very close to my heart, I decided to do the unthinkable. I wanted to create awareness about Lok Yew as well as Lok Mansion. And this is when I decided to write a book. Okay? You got to remember, I'm not a historian nor an author, but yet I decided to do something which is totally alien to me. Okay? So this book was actually done in about 7 months and launched sometime in 2016. But I basically achieved what I wanted to achieve with this book, which is to create awareness about Lok Mansion and Lok Yew. And not wanting to stop there, okay, in my introduction, you were informed that basically I was a Kendo exponent. I've represented Malaysia on a couple of occasions in international as well as regional competitions. But I retired from competitive Kendo when I was 40. Right before my depression. But because of my need to want to reinvent myself and come back out into the world, I decided to take one last step and try to qualify for the national team. This would mean a lot of hard training, and this was at the age of 48. Okay, so not really a young chiku, as they all say, right? So I managed to represent Malaysia in 2015 at the 16th World Kendo Championships. These are photos which were taken in Japan, in Nippon Budokan in Japan. Right, and then I went on to say, I need more excitement in my life. What are things you should confront? So one of the things that I want to do is to confront my fears. I have a fear of heights. I have a fear of free falling to death. I don't know if any of you have that feeling. But I decided to confront my fear by doing bungee jumping, okay? It may not seem like it's a lot, but if you think of it in the context of a person who has a fear of heights and a fear of falling, that means a lot. It means me trying to get out of my comfort zone. So not wanting to stop there. Okay, by the way, this jump is about 150 meters. It's not too bad. It's just the height doesn't seem like much, but it's the free falling that kills you, okay? Not wanting to stop there, I decided to go further up. 5,000 meters up to be exact. And I did parachute jumping, all right? Of course in tandem, because obviously I'm not trained to jump up on my own. But this experience also reaffirms my decision to step off my comfort zone, to overcome my fears of the unknown. So in all of these experiences, I managed to discover a part of myself. Now, I also, by the way, these are photographs which I took with my iPhone. I subsequently ventured into iPhone photography, okay? Bear in mind that I was never even artistic or creative by nature, but the fact is I tried to do something which is totally alien to me. And in fact, some of these photographs are in my Instagram, and in fact, in particular, just skip that one. Right, here we go. This particular photograph has actually won an award, believe it or not, all right? Even though I've only dabbled in iPhone photography for less than a year. So after that, I set myself to other challenges because I just want to keep on challenging myself and reinventing myself. So I did this, mountain climbing. Why not, you know? So I started small, okay? I started small. I did Mount Kinabalu, okay? I did Mount Kinabalu. And you can see in this slide, I've got my kids with me, right? My son is 16. He's probably the same age as most of you in this group. And that's my daughter. So not only do I get out of my comfort zone by conquering a mountain, I got my kids to come out of their comfort zone as well, all right? And hope that they will be inspired to come out of their own comfort zone in their own time. And in the same, I think a couple of weeks later, actually, I decided to do Everest Base Camp, all right? Now, Everest Base Camp is well known for its treacherous and demanding treks. It's basically a trek that involves 12 days of trekking through steep inclines, declines, combating altitude issues like thinner oxygen, and of course the extreme weather. So as you can see, basically, I did this, and that was something which I felt was also an extension of my way of trying to get out of my comfort zone. So basically, this is it. I mean, like, this is just my examples of trying to get out of the comfort zone, okay? Now, why is it so important to get out of the comfort zone? Because human beings by nature, we are creatures of comfort. We like to stay in a safe place. But the only problem with staying in a safe place is that you reach a point of stagnation whereby you will not progress any further in your life because you do not want to take any chances with your life. You do not want to venture out of the zone that keeps you safe. So basically, so these are some more photographs from the Everest Base Camp trek, just to show you the extreme conditions that we had to go through in order to finish this trek. So I said, why is it so important to get out of the comfort zone? Without getting out of your comfort zone, you will remain stagnant. You will remain in the same spot. You may think you're moving ahead in your life, but the only thing that's moving ahead is your age. But your life still remains the same. Okay? Now, with that, I would also like to tell you that because of that, I decided to take the biggest career gamble of my life at the age of 48 again, all right? I decided to leave legal practice because it wasn't something I wanted to do. It's not my passion. I just wanted to do something that's so... I think that basically, at the end of the day, I just want to know there's life beyond practice, okay? So I left Chiang Rai at the age of 48, hoping for a change, and I joined the Malaysia Book of Records. Totally unrelated, right? I don't know if you know about anything about Malaysia Book of Records, but basically Malaysia Book of Records is an organization that recognizes, very much like Guinness World Records, recognizes achievements by individuals in pursuit of their excellence and in the pursuit of challenging themselves to get out of their comfort zone. Now, in this line of work, I got a lot of opportunities to get up close to people that many of you wouldn't even have a chance to get up close with. So, specifically, I got, well, basically, these are some of the events which I attended with some very high-profile individuals, okay? So, ranging from Yuna, about 2 years ago, to our current Youth and Sports Minister, Sheikh Sadiq, as well as the Crown Prince of Johor, okay? In fact, I won't say which is which, but a few of them have become very good friends, okay, for whatever reasons, okay? All right, in my line of work, I also get inspired by people who keep on challenging themselves to break records. And one of them, there's one particular individual that really stood to mind in so far as my my working experience in Malaysia Book of Records is concerned. And this particular individual, his name is Ashrul Khan Hasrullah, okay? He is the first double amputee to reach Everest Base Camp, right? Ashrul Khan, he's more commonly known as Adam. He is basically basically he suffered polio when he was young, and he had no choice but to amputate his legs. So basically he actually grew up for a major part of his life without any legs. But he doesn't want, I remember I had a long talk with him. He told me that basically he doesn't want to be treated like as if he has a problem, even though he doesn't have any legs. He wanted to lead life just like anyone else. In other words, he's also trying to get out of his own comfort zone. So with that, he actually went up to Everest Base Camp, and this is just a TV documentary footage of him actually achieving that feat. Okay, so this guy, to me, is one of the reasons why I enjoyed working in Malaysia Book of Records. Okay, this is a video. It's a short video. It doesn't really matter. So the point is, you can see he's basically crawling. Okay. It took him 16 days to crawl up to Everest Base Camp. Okay, something that I took to go up in 9 days. Okay, 16 days, just crawling. Okay, so I do not know whether if this is a source of inspiration for you or not, but it is to me. Okay. Now, lastly, I like to say that. So, what do you get when you get out of a comfort zone? Well, I mean, as you can see from all my slides, you get new opportunities in life. Opportunities which you never know you'll get unless you take that bold move in getting out of your comfort zone. Sorry, that's what prompted me to leave my practice and become a Chief Operating Officer of Malaysia Book of Records. Then it also made me overcome my ego, because remember, I left Chiang Rai, but I needed the courage to leave Chiang Rai, right? Because I was sitting in a high and mighty position of doing some really high-profile corporate work, but I wasn't happy. But yet, I made that bold move to suppress my ego and venture out into the unknown. It also helped me to embrace my fears. I mean, testament of my bungee jumping and my parachute jump, and things like that. So basically, it makes you challenge your fears head on, without any fear, right? And basically, it also creates the opportunity to learn new things. Okay, I've written a book. I learned about iPhone photography, and these are things that keeps me fulfilled as a person. So with that, I'd like to implore all of you to try and find out where your comfort zone is and try to challenge yourself to get out of that zone. Now, how do you do that? You can start small. You can do things that is mildly uncomfortable to you. Like, for example, taking cold showers on a cold, rainy morning. I think a lot of people, you would probably say, I don't do that. But it's little things like that that actually makes a little difference. It's about conditioning your life and your mindset to change and say, look, it's okay to be uncomfortable because the rewards could be a lot greater at the end of the day. So with that, that actually concludes. I would like to end this slide basically to show you this is where your comfort zone is, but this is where the magic happens. So thank you very much for listening. Okay, thank you very much.